Well, first of all, let me just say what a privilege it is for the New England Patriots to be here in Super Bowl 52. It's a great honor to compete in this game and compete for the Super Bowl championship. Proud of what our players have done this year. They've worked extremely hard, going all the way back to the all-season program in April. Through training camp, we've been at it for a long time. These guys work hard every day, and they've earned everything that they've accomplished this year. And we look forward to Sunday. I have a tremendous amount of respect for the Eagles, their football team, Jeff, Doug, his staff, a lot of their great players who we're familiar with one way or another through various interactions. So it's a great organization, great team, and again, we're honored to be part of this great game, and I look forward to being at our best on Sunday afternoon against the Eagles.
Any questions, please raise your hand for a microphone.
Coach, do you love winning or hate losing more?
Yeah, we always play to win.
Bill, over to your left. Over here, sorry. Sort of a staple of your team over the years has been bringing in guys that maybe were underutilized in their previous homes. Currently, you have guys like Marquise Flowers, Eric Lee, Rex Burkhead, who weren't necessarily getting playing time with their previous places than with the Patriots. What do you rely on when bringing in a guy like that, where you see something in him but don't necessarily have the tape in the NFL to know what he can do?
Well, all those players you mentioned played enough football, and they've been in the league for a while. So, but in the end, what we try to do when we bring players onto the team, or bring players that we feel like will be able to contribute and help us win. And if they fall into that category, sometimes you know more than on some guys than others. But bottom line is, if the player can help our team and we feel like he can fit into our scheme, system, and be a contributor, then certainly willing to take a look at him.
Coach.
Yes?
Do you have the same feelings coming to each Super Bowl, going back to when you picked the Giants? Or does it change? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got it. Sure now. Thank you.
Okay. Do you have the same feelings when you come to the Super Bowl, just going back to as an assistant with the Giants, or does it change with each year about the game?
No. That's a great question. I think it changes every year. The venues are different, the teams are different, the matchups are different, and so the road that the team has traveled to get here is different, as is the road that your opponent has traveled. So each one's unique, each one's special. Super Bowl 21 in Pasadena as an assistant, it was different than being a head coach. Just different. I was at a different point in my life. But they're all good. They're all special, and they're awfully hard to. This is a hard place to get to. You gotta meet all the competition. You gotta find a way to withstand it and battle through it. And so it's a great feeling to be here. So,
thank you,
Bill. How important has Moses Cabrera been in terms of preventing injuries and the relative health of your team, and what makes him such a good fit for your staff?
Yeah, Moses does a great job for us. He does a great job of working with all the players. As you know, we have guys on our team that have very little experience in the NFL, very little experience in training, and training the way we want to train. We have other guys that have been training maybe in some places, whether it's here or somewhere else, for quite a number of years as National Football League players. So, and we have guys that are 180 pounds. We have guys that are 350 pounds, and all in between, skill players and linemen and so forth. So it's quite a spectrum. And I think that's probably the key part of his job, is to balance all those things, that all the needs of the individual players. We have an overall program that we adhere to for everyone, but at the same time we modify it for everyone as well, because all our players are unique individuals. They have specific needs, and he has a great background and ability to modify things to help each individual player. So he's done a great job.
Bill, back here, and Bill over here in the center, along the aisle.
Got it. Thank you.
What are your memories of years ago facing young Doug Peterson when he was then a quarterback of the Cleveland Browns and you were in the beginning stages of your coaching tenure in New England?
Yeah, no, I mean, that was quite a while ago. But again, I think the bottom line really is more the matchups on these two teams, and Coach Peterson's done a great job with this football team, certainly with the offense. They've lost a couple of key players this year, but they've continued to roll along with tremendous production in all areas of the game, and they're very good in the red area, very good on third down. Make a lot of explosive plays. They have great balance between their running backs, tight ends, and wide receivers. So I'm really focused on what they've done, what they're doing, how hard they are to stop, how explosive they are, how well they execute what they're doing.
Hey, Bill. Butch Stearns.
Butch.
Dion Lewis and Brandon Cook separately. Can you just talk about the seasons they've had and what both of them have meant to your offense?
Well, Dion and Brandon work very hard. They're both great kids. They give you everything they've got. They want to absolutely do what's best for the team and execute their role on each individual play, whatever that happens to be. They've been very, very consistent all year long on the practice field, meetings, games. They're there every week. They made a lot of plays for us. But they're great kids to work with. They work hard. They're tough. They know what to do. They do their best to try to do it well.
Coach, you are tied with Vince Lombardi and George Halas with 5 championships won. What are your impressions of those two legendary coaches? And way back when, did you ever have any interactions with those guys?
I had some with Coach Halas. Never really had any with Coach Lombardi. But my dad had connections with Coach Halas through Bill Wade, who was their quarterback, and my dad coached Bill at Vanderbilt in 50, 51, 52, back in there. And Chuck Mather was kind of his right-hand man, kind of number one assistant on the staff. And Chuck and my dad went way back, so we would...
I'd like to just be linked with those guys and maybe be able to pass them in titles.
I don't really... It's hard for me to really picture that. I mean, they're such great, legendary coaches. I don't really see myself. I don't think of it that way. I just think of how great they were, what they meant to the game, what they accomplished, and how much respect I have for them. I'd certainly put Paul Brown in there for all that he has done for this football game. When you start talking about the great coaches, I don't see how you can leave him out of it.
Joe Kayada from NBC 10 in Providence, over to your right.
Yeah.
Can you just talk about the growth of James Devlin from when you signed him as a practice squad guy to now being a Pro Bowler, and how much he's improved over the years?
Yeah, nobody works harder than James. He spent his first year with Cincinnati and signed with us. Played linebacker in college, but as you said, worked his way from the practice squad up to the roster. Didn't see a lot of playing time offensively or in the kicking game, but again, nobody's worked harder than he has on and off the field. James is a smart guy, he's a tough kid, and he's worked himself into a very significant role for us on special teams and on offense. He's one of our most dependable players. Again, he's so consistent, tough, durable, and makes good decisions on all the things he's involved in. He's been a real solid guy for us, and really, it's just been a steady, day by day, week by week, year by year progression, and he just seems to get better every time he does something.
Bill, you've spoken about.
Hey, Bill.
Hi. You've spoken about the diversity of Philadelphia's offense and the multiple targets they have. How do you describe what it takes for not only the guys on your roster, but the practice squad players to prepare your defense for an opponent like this, and specifically Brian Hoyer, the role he has to play balancing his Patriots work with what he has to do to give your defense a good look at Nick Foles?
Yeah, that's, those guys just don't get enough credit. Our practice squad players are players that prepare the other side of the ball, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams. Prepare the other side of the ball for the game and the roles that they play in that. We try to instruct those players so that they can simulate the plays and the players as best they can. They spend extra time trying to replicate the style or the technique that those players use to give us a good look at those things. But we have a lot of very unselfish players on the team that do their best to fill their role, and at the same time, as you mentioned, have to be prepared to fill the role on game day to actively participate and help us win, as well as the roles that can come up during the week where it's more scout team roles. And so we have a lot of players on our team that fall into that category. Certainly practice squad players, that's a lot of what they do, but other players as well. That it just makes you a better team. Everybody's got a job to do, and the better that each individual can do their job, then the better off the team is, whether that's on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Sunday.